If you clicked on this video, you probably want to know how to grow a YouTube channel without being stressed. And well, the answer is that that's impossible. The end. Joking. I mean, I'm not joking, but also I will give you some strategies that will just make it a bit more bearable and things to keep in mind that will hopefully help you stick to it despite the difficulties that you'll be encountering. If you're new here, I'm Anastasia. This is my second new channel. My main channel I've been building for 5 years, and I've made a lot of mistakes growing that channel. So I'm trying to make fewer of those building this new one, and also sharing the journey, sharing all the hard-earned things that I have come across throughout the 5 years. Thing number one is be stressed and allow yourself to feel it, because you're not doing anything wrong if you feel like things are quite tough. It takes a lot out of you in terms of your energy, in terms of your time, and just brain capacity, really. Remind yourself that it's completely normal, and a lot of us are in the exact same boat, experiencing the exact same stress because you want to grow. You have a goal in mind of where you want to get to, whether it's in terms of views, subscribers, or financially. The thing is that YouTube is a very uncertain game, and as much as we can know all the best practices and kind of the strategies that work at the moment, which I talk about on my channel, but really, you cannot predict the way it's gonna go for your channel. The thing that I keep hearing over and over again from different creators is that they just get this moment where something clicks, and it's usually not the one that they expected. It's usually a random video that they recorded without putting as much maybe planning or scripting into it. It's the one that felt most raw and honest and very in the moment. And you might think, well, okay, let me engineer that, but you cannot really engineer what's going to resonate with people at a particular time. Sometimes it's luck, sometimes it's, a combination of very well done research in terms of titles and thumbnails coinciding with you being in the right headspace to talk in a way that resonates with people. You cannot know when success will come. So allow yourself to be a bit stressed by that, and also know that it's normal too. Secondly, if you're stressed, there are two possible reasons. One is what we just talked about. But reason number two might be that you're expecting yourself to be doing YouTube and dedicating all of this attention and time to it while maintaining your usual life. And that's literally not possible. It's recipe for burnout, and I have been there. In fact, I'm kind of living on the edge of that a lot of the time. That's the way my personality works, is I juggle things a lot. But even if you are like that, even if you are like me and you're very multi-passionate and you're juggling many things in life, you will have to realize that if you're dedicating this much to YouTube, something will have to give. And it's probably best that you think about that intentionally rather than run into the fact that something is crumbling in your life and you didn't expect, but it just so happens that all the energy that you're pouring into YouTube has been taken away from something. So my advice, if you're getting incredibly stressed and you think it's for the reason of time, the time that it takes to do YouTube, you have to really think through your schedule for the week, for the month, and all the things that you're doing, and decide, what can I let go of for this period of building my channel? It's going to be essential for you to actually make this sustainable for yourself long term. Otherwise, burnout, quitting, it's literally the path if you keep running yourself to the ground. At one point, I was trying to work on several different business initiatives that I have, including YouTube, including also Instagram for a completely different strand of content, including trying to do culture consulting and whatever else. And I was working on several different directions of how I want to become self-employed and start making money online. And the reality was that I was spreading myself so thin that I wasn't actually progressing in any of those things because I was overwhelmed by the demand. The thing that helped me the most in that moment, where I was literally crumbling with my mental health because everything was just too much, was narrowing it down and letting go of literally everything else except YouTube. That's the only way that I have managed to stay consistent since then. I found it very hard to commit to YouTube and other things alongside. It's of course up to you. It's up to the way that you want to structure your life and what else you want to do. And I've got, other things in my life that I'm dedicating a ton of time to, like a degree at the moment and a consulting job before that. But you have to know your limits. And then if you feel like you're reaching your limits and you're consistently breaking down from the amount of stress, from the amount of pressure and urgency and not having time to address it, allow yourself to just let go of the pressure to do everything all at once. Plus, I've had to become way more intentional with scheduling my social things. It's really hard to maintain the same life and say yes to the things that you want to do all the time when you know that this requires time and attention. So I've had to become way more selective and also sometimes sadly say no to things that I would like to do just because I have to protect time for this. Otherwise, I know that I'll feel behind. I won't have a buffer of videos pre-recorded. I will probably feel more stressed from that than from missing a particular thing. Be intentional with what you're sacrificing and know that you might have to do that. Thing number 3 that has been helping me a lot is treating every difficult thing that I encounter as a test, as a filter to success. And what I mean is, sometimes you run into a thing of, oh my God, like my thumbnails and titles are just objectively a little bit shit. And I know that it's stopping me from doing better with my channel. Allow yourself to not feel disheartened by that, being like, oh, they're just so bad. I'm just so bad. I'll never be able to get it. But rather treat it as, okay, this is my next challenge to, overcome if I am to be successful. And that is the price that you pay. The price that you pay is all the discomfort that comes with doing this sort of thing. It's the discomfort of pressing publish. It's the discomfort of trying new things, sharing your original ideas, showing up more authentically on camera, all of that stuff. And if you're starting to sell things, that's a whole other beast of navigating that and how you feel about the fact that you might want to offer people something in return for their money. And how does that feel if you're not used to doing that? All of those things are filtering out the people who don't have it in them to overcome this sort of stuff. And that's just the brutal truth. If you can't get the consistency right, you're going to be filtered out from the people who can. And then slowly, the more you overcome, the closer you are to succeeding, and also the lower the competition is, because not everyone makes it to that point. So you have to remind yourself that if you're running into difficulty, if you're feeling stressed, if you're battling with your schedule, you don't know how to balance things, treat it as your next challenge that you have to overcome to get to where you want to be. If this resonated, I've actually put together my 5 biggest mistakes from 5 years on YouTube, where I talk very candidly in a very human way about the things that I did wrong building my main channel. So if you want that, it's going to be linked in the description below. It's completely free. And I'll see you in this next video over here, which I think you will enjoy watching. Bye.